Keeping up with our motto, let learning be a joy and teaching a pleasure, here we are with the remote teaching and learning process to bridge the gap. Happy learning to all students. Hello students, I Anuradha Sharma welcomes you all in today's online video. So in this video, we are going to continue our chapter number 3 of civics, and the topic is features of the Constitution. And in the video 1, we have discussed many of the features of the Constitution, which were federalism, separation of powers, who deals with what subjects and union territories. And I hope you have revised all these topics. And today we will continue with parliamentary system of government, independent judiciary, single citizenship, process of amending the constitution, and election commission. So let's continue today's video with parliamentary form of government. So student, the Indian Constitution has provided for a parliamentary system of government. Okay, so why India adopted this system? See, the British rulers governed India according with this system. So Indians were very much aware about it or very much familiar about this system. So many discussions took place in the Constituent Assembly over the system of government, and the framers of the constitutions make few changes in the parliamentary system to suit the Indian situation. So though we can say that we had adopted this system from British system, but we had made changes according to Indian situations as well. So now in this picture you can see three organs of the government. The first one is parliament, which is also known as legislature. Second is executive, and third is judiciary or judicial system. So parliament, that is also known as legislature, has the highest decision making power. Okay, remember this thing. And the Indian Parliament includes President, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha is also known as the House of People, and the Rajya Sabha is also known as the Council of States, as Rajya means states and Lok means people. Okay, so the Council of Ministers that run the administration emerges from the Lok Sabha. Emerges means they come out from Lok Sabha. The Council of Ministers who runs the whole administration, they comes out from this Lok Sabha only. As there are, you can see this session and you can see many of the ministers, MPs, member of parliaments in this house, but all of them are not the part of Council of Ministers. Few of them are there, and those Council of Ministers, they are answerable to this Lok Sabha for all its decisions. Whatever decisions they take, whatever policies they make, they have to answer to this Lok Sabha. So in parliamentary democracy, the discussions and debates that took place in the parliament have great significance. Now what does it mean? It means before converting any bill into a law, long discussions and debates take place. All these members, they discuss among themselves those policies, and after discussions, if they are in favor, they vote in favor, and some opposition parties, they also speak against those proposals on policies, and in this way after a discussion they come to one decision, and finally with the process of voting and everything, that bill is converted into a law and it is implemented. Why is this done? So that they just see that whatever decision they are going to take, it should be for the welfare of people. Okay, that's why these debates and discussions are very much required. Next we will see the other organ, that is judiciary, which is also mentioned as independent judiciary. So the Indian Constitution has created an independent judiciary. Now you can see Supreme Court, High Court and District Courts are part of these judicial systems. Okay, and Supreme Court is the highest judicial body of the Indian judiciary. So the disputes that cannot be resolved mutually are referred to the judiciary. It means that when people are not able to resolve their issues with cooperation or with understanding, they go to these judicial bodies. At that time, the court hears both the contesting parties, looks into the injustice if any, and gives its judgment. Okay, after hearing both the parties, it finally gives its judgment, and this has to be done impartially without any discrimination. So the constitution has made several provisions to ensure that judiciary remains more and more independent. What are those provisions? First is the judges are appointed by the president and not by any government. So remember this, if the courts will be under government, so they can be partial. Okay, so that's why they are not under any government. The judges are appointed by president, and it's also not easy to remove these judges from their offices, from their positions. Okay, next we will see single citizenship. So students, the Indian Constitution has granted a single citizenship to all Indians, that is Indian citizenship. It means an Indian is a citizen of India only. He is not a citizen of any Indian states. So single citizenship is meant to save national unity and national integration, so that all the people, they think of India and help in the progress of their nation. Okay, so that for that unity of the nation, the single citizenship is required. Next, we will see a very important topic, which is the process of amending the constitution. So students, amending or amendment here means to make some changes. Okay, so there comes up a need to make changes or amendments in the provisions of the constitution due to changing circumstances. See, we see from the time of adoption till now, the situation has changed a lot in India. Okay, so new situations keeps on coming. Okay, so according to those situations, we also require few changes in the constitution. But those amendments or changes should not be so frequent because it may lead to instability. Okay, and the procedure for amendment is also specified in the constitution itself, so as to ensure that an amendment is made only after giving it a careful consideration. Okay, so parliament decides whether to make any amendment to the Indian constitution. Okay, then only the process of making amendment is followed. The procedure for amendment in the constitution is unique. It is neither too difficult nor too easy. Why so? So that is because more scope has been provided for giving more consideration and thought to important amendments, so that parliament could see which topics are important. Okay, so accordingly the process is flexible. It means if a small change is required, so with only half of the majority we can make changes. But if a topic or a change is a very big, if any big change in the constitution is needed, then there is a special provision mentioned in the constitution. So that's why we say that the procedure is also flexible to ensure that general amendments can be brought about easily. Next is election commission. So students, you must have read about the election commission in the newspaper. Since India has adopted a democratic form of government, so people have to elect their representatives periodically, time to time. You can see in the house, in Lok Sabha, we elect our representatives and send them there to make decisions on our behalf. For these, elections have to be conducted in a free and fair atmosphere. That is why this election commission is appointed. Under this election commission, there is election commissioner and an assistant election commissioner. So both are appointed by president itself. So see, if the government were to conduct elections, there might be no guarantee of such free, fair and just atmosphere of elections. Okay, that is why this election commissioner is not under any political party or government. Okay, so that it could conduct election in an independent way. Hence, the Constitution has entrusted the responsibility of conducting elections to an independent machinery, and this machinery is known as Election Commission. So, the responsibility of conducting all elections in India rests with the Election Commission. Okay, so it is the whole and sole duty of conducting election is in the hand of this Election Commission. So, in this picture, you can see our current Chief Election Commissioner. His name is Sunil Arora. Okay. So that's all for today, students. Today we covered the parliamentary form of government, independent judiciary, single citizenship, process of amending constitution and election commission. And all these topics are very important. They are the features of Indian constitutions. So there are many more which we will continue in the next chapter. So that's all for today. Thank you so much. Have a great day and I hope you understood all the things. Thank you once again.